Sarah figured out that by switching to Metro PCS, she gets 2 free smartphones.
Your barbecue ribs are the best.
Take the rest home with you, Sarah.
Just like she figured out that by visiting her in-laws, she doesn't have to cook for the rest of the week. You too figure it out. Get 2 free 4G LTE smartphones from top brands like Samsung and LG after instant rebate when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included. See store or metropcs.com for details and terms and conditions.
We're back. Happy to be back. Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. It's the 1st of June. Is it really June? That's the question I had to ask myself this morning. Ways to get in contact with us. LateNightParent.com is our site. Twitter, you can hit me up, Real Ted Hicks or Late Night Parent. Facebook page, facebook.com/Late Night Parents. A lot of stuff to get through since the last time we've connected. The last show was the 4th of May. Had to recharge my batteries and everything else like that comes along with it. But a lot of good things. Was researching a lot of things. Tonight on the roster is three of my friends, and hopefully after the show there'll be 3 of your friends. Tonight is It Really June? Podcast episode. Out the gate is Hezzie McCaleb, who's going to talk about life coaching. He's going to talk about podcasting, where it's going, where it's been. He took a quick break from it, the reasons why. And we're going to chop it up at 10 minutes past the hour. At 30 minutes past the hour, good friend Rich Valdez and I will tackle the controversy of what happened at the Cincinnati Zoo. You know, the parents are getting a lot of hate, death threats, phone numbers changed, people showing up at the front door. Over 400,000 people have signed a petition on Facebook that they should be charged for neglect. We're going to get into that at 30 minutes past the hour. 45 minutes past the hour, our good friend Danny Thompson, our resident birthday boy, is going to join us. Talk a little NBA Finals preview. Talk about Kevin Durant and his whereabouts. We're also going to talk about the whereabouts of my porterhouse steak. This gentleman was quick to want to bet me that the Thunder would beat the Warriors. And I said, no, Warriors over Thunder in 7. I won. I want my porterhouse steaks. He lives in Orlando. I live in New York. We got to find a way to make this happen. But I couldn't do this without the best partners in the world. And some of those partners I shouted out this morning. I never go on Facebook, but I happened to go on Facebook this morning. It was Wednesday. I think every Wednesday I will go on Facebook. Oh, how I dislike Facebook. What it's become. You know, I liked it in 2009 when I joined for about 15 minutes. Started connecting with people and reconnecting with people. Then I looked at it and I said, oh, I got over 850 friends. How many of those friends I actually speak with? Oh, my goodness. Well, it's another form of networking. But we do this with the best partners in the world, best media partners. They're not just radio, some are TV, all the above. I'm going to give them all a shout out. I should give the, hey, you know who you are. I'm going to shout you out. But I want to thank our good friends at AM FM 247. We have rejoined forces. They are airing Late Night Parents Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And also on their Newport Richie FM station, terrestrial station. Good friend Scott Price, UNR1, airs us every Thursday at 8 p.m. Thank you. Life Improvement Radio shouts us out every Monday, 10 a.m. Eric, thanks a million. I-95 Sports Network plays us all around the clock. I can't give you a specific time because Bobby Blackjack always shows us love. We couldn't do it without our good friends at NGSC Sports that powered us on their iHeartRadio app. XRP in the UK plays us. It's a 6-hour time difference. I still haven't really reconnected to find out the exact time that they play us. But I want to thank those good people. Tiz Shearer, always showing us love through Facebook Messenger, 6 hours ahead. Only gentleman I know I can chat with, say, hey, I'm chatting with someone in the UK. The Underground, 9-0, shouts us out every Thursday and Saturday, 12 p.m. Central. They shout us out all day long on Twitter. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. I've got to tell you, also, our friends at Arena Sports Network. Arena Sports Network is going to, starting June 6th, syndicating our show, 12 a.m. every night, Monday through Friday, they will play us. I've got to I think I've sent them a plethora of shows. I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but I appreciate them. Couldn't do it without Happy Hour Network. As we know, we recently launched our own iHeartRadio app. We're on iHeart now. We're airing globally. Want to give a big shout out to our newest provider, AM 1240, WGBB. The show will be airing on Saturdays at 4:30 live. So we're going to be doing a second show on Saturdays, 4:30 p.m. That call-in number is 631-888-8811. I'll be talking about it on social media the remainder of this week to talk about the debut of the show. So, like I said, really excited about that. We're all over. We're worldwide. I got to thank everyone that listens to the show. They stream it through iTunes, Spreaker, you name it, SoundCloud. I want to thank all those folks that do that. So to everyone, I say thank you. Thank you to our guests, past, present, and future. Our team that does the voiceovers, Rich Valdez, who does the Audible.com. Want to thank a big shout out to our friends at Verizon Files who've been doing work with them for the past 4 months. You can expect to hear a Verizon Files promo on Saturday's show. We're working on it. One of the sponsors for the show on Saturday. So gotta thank them for pitching in. Okay, so now I've gotten through all of that stuff and all the thank yous and everything. I'm going to start recording that in the future. But we got 3 people tonight. Hezzie McCaleb, H5 as I call him, genuinely H5 on Twitter. Rich Valdez, Richie_V_NY, and NBA DT 29, Danny Thompson, who owes me my porterhouse steaks. I called your show last night. I will harass you on each and every show until I get my steaks. But without further ado, going to bring on first guest. He's been in the queue for 5 minutes and 48 seconds, holding steady. Big H5 originally from NOLA, but he hails out of Orlando. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. We're all, I mean, it's good to say blessed and highly favored.
Absolutely.
So what's going on with you, H5? I mean, it's you and I go back a ways, not just from on this podcasting thing, but from working and barbershop sports and all the above, working on different things. So I've got the uttermost respect for you. And I said, you know what? When I was talking about restarting Wednesday's show, you was the first one I thought of right out the gate because of your energy, because of the vast amount of, it's not even sports knowledge that you have. You got a lot of that. It's the pop culture side where you really excel. I want to know what's going on in your world.
Oh man, I've been on a journey, Brother Ted. As you know, my most recent podcast that I had going was The Filthy Dish, and that's where we talk pop culture. But I had an epiphany, man, that I really enjoy working with people as far as personal development is concerned. So I've been on a mission, man. I've been in school attending the school called IPEC, which stands for the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. It's based out of Shrewsbury, New Jersey. I've been taking classes down in Miami, Florida over the last 7 months. It's been 320 hours and then some of intensive training. And where I'm at now is I want to start working with IT professionals to help them manage stress in the workplace. I'm also getting ready to develop or come out with a new podcast that has to do with personal development called Redesign Your Paradigm, and start my business, man. So got a lot of things in the kitchen, man. I'm in the kitchen cooking, brother.
Gotcha. If you're not in the kitchen cooking, being H5 the chef, then you're definitely in the lab recording the latest pod. I got to tell you this much.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about this. How did you come about with the name Actual Eyes?
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but Actual Eyes really is to bring something into fruition. So you have an idea, right? Like what I'm talking about, this idea of starting my own business, this idea of doing this new podcast, right? But it's just an idea. You have to put in some work to bring it into fruition. The way that I spelled it for my company, though, represents something that has to do with vision. I have the word actual and the word eyes, like the eyes that's in your head that you see with, put together, because I believe that a person's vision isn't actually those physical eyes. I believe that their vision comes from within. It's in their heart. It's in their mind. And they can see it clearer sometimes than they can see things in front of their face. And so that's what I want to help people to do, to get in touch with that vision that's inside of them and help them to take that leap.
So Hez, tell me this much. I mean, and I'm not going to put you in a box, but life coaching, just the coaching strategy and the industry, people wouldn't believe it's a $2 billion industry.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
man.
I was shocked to find that out. I was like, oh, a coach, a life, like when someone says, oh, hey, I'm a coach. You're a coach, like baseball or
right.
like a college coach, JV.
Right.
What you do? You know, but when you think about the game called life, and you think about time, stress, and project management, there needs to be that coach/mentor, because there's a lot of people that don't have mentors out there. And tell me this much, because I've always, in my understanding of it, there's a difference between a mentor and a coach. A coach is kind of like there for you daily, and a mentor is kind of like you kind of touch base with them. So how do you kind of qualify or quantify what criteria do you see yourself falling in? More as a coach or as a mentor towards like young IT professionals? Because I'm telling you, managing projects, you look at the triple constraints. Is it on time? How's the performance? And the cost. You look at those triple constraints and you say, hey, any good project, you can only have 2 of the 3. So
right.
How do you classify yourself? Are you doing any mentoring? Do you plan on doing any mentoring, or strictly coaching?
Well, that's a good question, Ted. The way that I define mentoring, first of all, is where you have it's a strategic partnership between you and another person or a group of people, where you're leveraging your experience to help guide them along the way, because you're further down the path than these individuals or this individual may be. And so maybe through mentorship, you can use your experience to help them avoid some of the pitfalls that can come along with lack of experience in a certain career or endeavor that they want to take on. So that's kind of what I think about as far as mentoring. Coaching, on the other hand, is a different type of strategic partnership where, myself as a coach, I believe that my client is wiser than they give themselves credit for. So I like to think of myself as an accountability partner, someone that's challenging a person to think beyond their horizons. I'm not going to give them an answer like maybe a consultant or a mentor would, because I believe that they have their answers. They know what they want to do, right? So, but when they come up with this powerful plan, when they connect with their purpose, or they, find out what their goal really is and how they're going to achieve it, they are the architects of it. But even when you have an architect, it's still good to have somebody there holding you accountable. So, for instance, if I can just make this real quick, if you say, let's just take physical fitness. Mm-hmm. If you say, I'm going to go to the gym next week three times a week, all right? I didn't tell you that you need to go to the gym. A mentor might tell you you need to go to the gym 3 times a week to get started. But if you decide, all right, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, I can do that. That's realistic for me. All right, cool. So what days are you going to go? That's what a coach is going to do. What days are you going to go? What time are you going to be at the gym? How long are you going to be in the gym? What's your commute from wherever you're going to be before you go to the gym? So a person thinks about the whole, whole shebang about going to the gym and really formulates a plan that they can, I'm going to go ahead and use the word actualize, and so that's what a coach does. And so to answer your question, I'm definitely leaning towards the coaching thing, but okay. I'm not closing myself off from any opportunities.
So you've been studying for 12 months. For 7 months. Were you trained in the GROW model, like the goal, reality, options, and way forward model, or do you believe in that model, like the goal, reality, then you look at your options, and then you look at moving forward, how to handle things? Is that going to be your process for training people, or kind of how do you plan to kind of put it together?
Well, the way that I've been trained, we like to call ourselves core energy coaches.
Okay.
There's all different types of systems out there, obviously, and a lot of them work. But the way I've been trained is to understand that we're all made up of energy. That's the basic element of the universe, right? Atoms are made of energy. Our thoughts, our emotions, everything is rooted in some form of energy. I practice the Energy Leadership Index, which teaches 7 different levels of energy. Real quick, just to break that down, level 1 is the victim, the person that feels like they're at the cause or the effect of life, right? They can't win, right? They can't get up out of bed. Nothing ever works for them because, as far as they're concerned, they're losers. That's, level 1. Level 2 is conflict, is defiance, is rebellion, is anger, right? So you believe that I win at all costs. meaning I don't care how many people I have to step on, as an example, to win, as long as I win, right? Level 3 is more tolerance. Like, I can win, and if you win, that's okay, but I still have to win. Level 4 is more the caretaker, the person that's, always looking after someone else, helping all the time. But a lot of times they don't do things to help themselves. And level 5 is when you start to get into the higher levels of energy, when you're thinking, okay, I win, you win, we win together. There is level 6 is a synergy, where you start to stop thinking about winning and losing as an actual thing, and we all are one, right? And the highest level, which is the level that we describe as the genius level, is really when you just kind of let all your ego go, all judgment, all of that's gone at that level. A lot of people can tap into that, from time to time, but a lot of people don't reside at that level of energy all the time. So that is the basic breakdown of the 7 levels of energy that I coach around, and that's our system.
Okay. Hey, I know our time is running short, so I've got to ask you to, number 1, take off your mentoring and coaching hat, because you used to run a podcast called The Filthy Dish.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a podcast I personally loved because it would get to the nitty-gritty of who's who and what's happening in the world of TMZ and Wendy Williams and all the above, but you guys would put your twist onto it, and it's the one question. If I was talking to H5, who did the Filthy Dish podcast, and I'm just going to throw this question out there: Is Odell Beckham Jr. on his way to a death sentence since he supposedly is dating Khloe Kardashian? What would you say as the former host of the Filthy Dish podcast? Would you tell him to run, Forrest, run?
Hey, you said I'm taking my coaching hat off, right? That's gone, right?
You just taking your coaching hat off. This is H5. We talk in 2 minutes, and then we can go back to coaching. When I read that today, I said TFD. I said, where's Nicole? Where's Stacy? I said, where is the group right here? So I tell you, Odell and Khloe, I mean, they are like career killers.
Black widows, if you will. You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, there's some other things going on with Odell Beckham. Let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? I mean, the brother has been seen doing some, what some people would deem questionable as far as where he stands as far as his sexual preference. Does it matter? At the end of the day, no. But as human beings, we're curious. We always want to know. We want to understand things, right? That's why we put labels on stuff, because we're trying to understand it.
Right.
So it's hard for us to see the videos of him, looking at dudes bent over, lusting, looking in his face, dancing with sheer shirts, dancing with shirts off, with just dudes. There's no women around, and it's been like that. Most recently, he was hanging out at Drake's house just for, I don't know, for whatever reason. And then now, out of the blue, after all of this suspect behavior has been going on, now he's at the club with Khloe Kardashian. My thought is, first of all, don't trust it. If I could go back to my Public Enemy days, you know what I'm saying? Don't trust it.
Gotcha.
And it's like, I just don't know what it is about the Kardashian girls and athletes, you know what I'm saying? But they have some kind of allure, man.
Oh my goodness, Hez. I just had to throw that one out there. I had to throw it out there.
Yeah. It's funny because I sent a link. I sent that link to Stacy yesterday, and the first thing that she said was beard. Now, for those folks that don't know what a beard is, that's for a man who is in actuality a homosexual, but he hasn't come out publicly as a homosexual. So what he does is he gets a very nice looking woman to convince everybody that he's not gay. So that was the first thing that Stacey said, that Chloe is a beard, if that's even a real if they're even a real thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, oh goodness. I and I understand. I see the conflict because there's a conflict where you're doing coaching and professional development, and then there's the sassiness of the filthy dish. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but you need to find a co-host that can come in there that you could still be Ryan Seacrest, produce
right,
it
in the background.
In the background, the show, the lead showrunner, writing the outlines and everything else, just like back in the days of BSS. And just have your fingerprints on it, and just take it from there. I don't know, but
hey man,
with that,
anything is possible, bro. Anything is possible.
I'm waiting. That's all I'm gonna say is I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that day. Yeah, I am definitely waiting for that
and
day.
While I'm here, I don't know how much airtime I have left, but about 3 or 4 years ago on Barbershop Sports, I announced to the world that Stephen, or let me just give his whole name, Wardell Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors was
you did.
monster. And I got laughed at on that show.
I was one of the people laughing. You said he was a monster, and I said, come on now, Hayes, you don't know what you're talking about.
Now, 73 wins
that.
later, 73 wins and 9 losses later, unanimous MVP later. I just want y'all to know, man. I know I may be inclined to pop culture, but H5 does know his sports too now. I just have to say that on the air.
Yes, you do. You did. I will give you your props on it. You said it 2, if not 3 years ago. You said he's a monster. And you said the way Gary from Greensboro used to say it, monster.
Yeah.
Munsta. Monster.
Shout out to Gary from Greensboro, man. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So before we wrap up, best ways to get in contact with you with your new business, your new endeavors. If people want to reach out to you in regards with coaching, in regards with Actualize, in regards to, hey, I might want to be a coach myself. How should I get started? Tell us the best ways to get in contact with you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you can, anybody who's interested can reach me at actual, like the word actual, and eyes together, CC, that's for coaching and consulting, at gmail.com. actualizecc@gmail.com. Send me any questions or whatever you have on your mind. Social media contacts, the Instagram and Twitter for Actualize is the same thing, Actualize CC on Instagram and on Twitter. It is also that on Facebook as well. I have a Facebook page, Actualize Coaching and Consulting. If you just want to chat outside of the coaching stuff and you're interested in pop culture or sports, or you just want to chew the fat, you can hit me up on Twitter at Genuinely H5. I'm also Genuinely H5 on Instagram as well, and that's how you can get at me.
All right. Want to give you one time, Big H, H5. Thanks so much, bro.
No doubt, man. Thank you. Take care.
And that was Genuinely H5, Hezzie McCaleb, talking about the world of coaching. I've been trying to push him back into the world of somehow creatively reviving TFD, the Filthy Dish. If you love TMZ and all those types of gossip shows, you will love their take on the latest and greatest in Hollywood, and with not just with celebrities, but with the athletes, how those worlds collide. At top of the hour, we're going to play a quick promo, come back with none other than my buddy Rich Valdez.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/late-night-parents. Why Audible? Audible content includes more than 180,000 audio programs from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, and business information providers. That's audibletrial.com/late-night-parents.
And it's apropos that the voice of all the voiceovers for our promos, Rich Valdez, is our next special guest. Rich and I go back many, 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 many years and worked together for many, many, many years. Great family, great person, a brother from another mother, and that's where I'll leave it. Because, like I said, his family is my family. And Richie V, what's going on, man?
What's up, Ted? Thank you so much for that intro, and it all goes right back at you. You talking about yourself there, brother from another mother, wonderful father, good man. Yeah, we go back. We go back, man.
We go back.
Long time. Many places, many people.
Yes, and we could just all just laugh about it. That's the best thing about it. Rich, I think I asked you on this podcast. I needed you on here because of what happened this past weekend, I believe, in Cincinnati at the zoo. Everyone's talking about it. Yeah. The family where the 4-year-old or the young 3-year-old, some people might have heard him say, hey, I want to get in there with the gorillas, and either fell or slipped under the railing. And, it's been played over on every type of broadcast network about what happened, the aftermath. We're not going to even talk about that, Rich. The topic that has come up is bad parenting. There are currently on a Facebook petition, I think close to 400,000 signatures that they want these parents to be brought up on some type of negligence charge. They've had to change their number. There's been death threats. People have come to their home. Rich, what in the world? I mean, we are regular people. You and I have sat down, had a beer together. I've and we just talk as real people. Rich, what's your take on that situation?
I'm going to start off with a what if, and then I'll give you my take.
Okay.
My what if is, what if instead of the little child getting away from his parent for the amount of time we don't know, could be 5 seconds, could be 10 seconds, we don't know how long it was. What if instead of him having gotten out of the parent's sight and climbing or slipping or falling into the pen, what if someone had grabbed that child and disappeared with him? Would everyone be coming at the parent the same exact way and calling the parent negligent and saying they didn't know what they were doing and saying they weren't paying attention? Would they? I don't think so. So I think some of this is, I understand that no one wants, we're going to call it innocent, an innocent animal to be killed. So, we got to go to the end result here. No one wants to see that happen, especially when you can't blame the gorilla for what happened. It's not its fault at all. It's an animal. It's a gorilla. It was in a pen. It's an accident. I don't think that everyone should be coming down on the parent like that. Because, and we've talked. I've got 3 boys. 2 of them were like 15 months apart, so I had 2 little ones running around every which way at certain points. You've got kids. I know your kids. They run around the same way. I don't think there's a parent out there that can say that never, ever in a public place did their child get away from them for 5-10 seconds. They'd be lying if they did. Or the kid got away and came back before they even knew they were gone. So, to have the petition blaming the parent on this, I understand that gut reaction because of how it ended up. But you look at what really, really happened, no, it's not fair. It really isn't, I don't believe.
It's a sad story on so many different aspects. Mm-hmm. For the people that are thinking about, poor Harambe,
mm-hmm.
He's, do you even want to say it, endangered species, or they were looking for that, that gorilla to mate, we understand all of that. Clearly, we understand all of that. But I'm going to put myself out here right now, and I do it proudly, because there's been occasions when I've been with my son. My son is going to be 9 years old. And I just got a text. I got a text message. Yes, I got a text message that said, "What if the gorilla had killed the child?"
Oh,
then it's a totally different conversation.
I was going there. We weren't done.
Right, but you know what? I'm going to be straight up, Rich, and you and I have talked about this. There's been times when I've been with my son, and I was at Van Heusen in Carl Place, New York, right over in that strip mall. We went into the store. He went under a clothes rack. I darn near shut down the store myself. I shut it down myself because I was like, whoa, what happened?
And it happened
Where
that
is
quickly.
he? Yep. Just that quickly. I'm looking for a shirt, and I turn around, and I don't see him.
Right.
And I lose my mind because, the first thing I'm thinking, what is his mother going to say?
Yep. What
do I tell her? That, I've lost our son. Okay. And was I proud of that situation? Of course not. Of course not. Not at all. But I will tell you, in that split second, your kids have walked away. And I think I shared with you, there was one time I was in Foot Locker getting sneakers for my daughter, and she was at the time maybe 2, I think around 2 or maybe 3. She went into the stock room. Yes. Once again, I went, code red to shut down the entire store, and the customer service rep was like, hey, are you looking for this person?
Yeah.
So there's so much here at play. And everyone, and I'm sorry, everyone wants to be that Monday morning quarterback because everyone has a social media account and they want to put these parents on blast.
Right.
These types of accidents happen. It's different than, Shaniqua wanting to go to the club and leave the kid at home, not being watched. Let's be real here.
Oh, it's totally different. You can't even compare the two, and I don't think you can you can't call it negligence. It is what happened. Negligence is when you let the child run around for the next 20 minutes by themselves, and you're off partying it up and not paying attention. Obviously, neither you nor I were there. But there don't seem to be any reports that this child had been running around on their own, rampant, or doing anything beforehand. All it takes is a couple seconds. And even if the child did say, "I want to get in there with the gorilla," Who would sit there and believe, oh yeah, this little 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old is now going to try and climb in there after just saying that while he's standing up right next to me? It wouldn't make a difference. Go into what you're about to say about. Go ahead.
No, it's just so. The only thing I'm going to say is it's so easy to pass judgment. That's what we are now. Go ahead.
Right. You know, everyone is doing the same thing. And like you say, it's a Monday morning quarterback. It's the, if I was there, I would have done so and so. No, you don't know what you would have done because you weren't there, and it's that person's situation. But you know, like you hinted on earlier about, you know, what if this animal had, you know, some people are sitting there again with the quarterbacking. Well, it wasn't doing anything to the child. Now, you know, you and I both read. We read everything. And
yes.
Granted, I'm no biologist, no zoologist, but there have been many with many letters behind their names reporting about this and saying, well, you know, the behavior that it was exhibiting was aggressive behavior.
Right.
Yeah, it was probably about to do something because this just entered the pen. This is the alpha male, almost of all alpha males, the silverback gorilla. You know, this child was in immediate danger, which also we need to think about. Like you said, there are so many angles to this. I mean, you have the zoologists that, you know, basically raised this gorilla. I mean, what was it, 21 years old, 20 years old? They've known this gorilla this is what they've put their lives, their careers into. They're the last people who would have wanted to have to kill this animal because of this accident. And then, think about this. I mean, the child was, what, 4 years old, right?
Right.
4-year-old is old enough to remember this.
Yes.
What you know, scars are going to be on this poor child for the rest of his life, potentially. You know, there's so many angles to this. It goes beyond what I'm going to just say, you know, again, if everything we've read and everything that is being reported is accurate, it goes way beyond the child getting away from the parent for what could have been 5-10 seconds. We don't know, but it doesn't sound like, you know, the parent was being negligent and just letting the child run around. It's just a sad event, sad accident that happened.
Rich, I will tell you this much. I will be equally upset, and I hope this doesn't happen, that this parent turns around and goes through the talk show circuit, you know, looking to, you know, exploit this situation. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying I would be disappointed. Totally disappointed.
I mean, I haven't, you know, seen that yet. And, I mean, you can be sure the talk show circuit's going to try and drag the parent around. But, you know, do they try and turn a profit off of this? I can't, you know, you hope not. You know, you can be sure, though, this is the world we live in, so there have probably already been all kinds of investigations into the safety of the pen and were the proper safeguards in place so that this couldn't happen. And, you know, there'll be some kind of negligence lawsuit. You know that's going to happen. Again, maybe there is a fault that to be had. Maybe there isn't. That we may never know. But you know, it's just a sad situation. But now I'm going to flip something around on Ted.
Okay.
On we'll call it semi-related issue.
Uh-huh.
So we're here in New York.
Yes.
We just had, this was 2 days ago, where a man caught up with a gentleman who allegedly had raped. He caught him raping his wife.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Caught up with the man with a weapon to defend himself from the man.
Yep.
And ended up killing the man. Now I don't know. I heard what the initial charges was when they arrested the person.
Yes.
That has changed as of today, and in my opinion, has changed to what should, you know, in my opinion, there shouldn't be a charge at all. But they've lowered it to something more reasonable for what has allegedly happened and what is being reported as happening. What's your take on it?
When I heard it, I'm going to tell you this much. So my wife said there's got to be more to the story. And I was like, I don't know. I just kept saying to her, I don't know. She said, so Ted, he was outside The woman was being raped. She was just like, are we hearing the full story? Are we hearing everything? And then I heard he was arrested with, I think manslaughter.
Yes.
Rich, it has to be lowered. And I'm not sure if the man who was defending his wife or who went after the rapist was, if they were in the building or if they were down, he caught up with the person down the block. I guess, there's a certain level of rage that takes over a person, that could take over anybody when something as egregious is done such as that.
So what's being reported, if I've understood it correctly, is that was in the building, and he caught up with him in the elevator outside. So no long distance, no running around. Now, the charges have been the manslaughter charge has been dropped. Now,
okay.
He's been released. It's been brought down to a weapons charge. I believe they said an assault charge, a weapons charge, and something else, another charge. But I mean, you have to have a level of, you almost want to say common sense, even though we're dealing with the law. But you have to have a level of common sense. And if the facts are as they've been reported, if we got the accurate story, there's a whole bunch of ifs there because, again, like we said on the other situation, we weren't there. But it does sound to me, I feel the same way. This man was defending his family, defending his wife, and unless there were some extenuating circumstances which we don't know about, he did what I believe any husband, father, because the son was there too supposedly. He did what any husband or father would have done to protect. Maybe he meant to kill, maybe he didn't. I don't even think that's an issue at this point. He was defending his family. Right.
Rich, that's a really tough situation. And like I said, I don't think in that moment I could have chosen anything different.
Right.
I truthfully, and like I said, I'm what you see is what you get with me. In that situation, in that moment, at that time, knowing what was being told to the man from his wife, and that person was right there.
Right.
I mean, there would have been hell to pay.
Exactly.
I mean, and you're going to sit here and you're going to think, okay, now I'm going to call the cops. Now I'm going to do this, or I'm going to hold this man down. So that's a really, really rough situation. And I caught it on the news, and I was like, oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And I, the first thing I thought of, Rich, was, did they let this guy walk? Did they let him walk? And then I heard, no, he was arrested, and he's been sitting in jail. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that.
He's, you're sitting in jail. There's other things that are being done that we're seeing every day, and people are walking.
Exactly.
It's a crazy situation. Crazy situation.
But I guess it also goes to show, give the criminal justice system its opportunity. And, I would think maybe, all right, the police, the judge was charging with this, then get the information, get the details. You can always drop the charge, which again it sounds like what happened.
Yeah.
You do always have to give benefit of the doubt and give justice the chance to do its work.
The situation has to be allowed to work itself out in the courts.
Exactly.
Yes, the man shouldn't have taken the situation into his own hands, but like I said, in that situation, I don't know anyone else. I mean, you never know. This guy might walk away with a slap on the wrist.
Right.
You don't know. We just got to keep our eyes and ears tuned to what's going on. But, Richie V, I got to tell you, as always, these thought-provoking, I mean, we talk about stuff in the office.
Right.
That's as deep, where we're sitting there talking about life, along with working and everything else like that. But I got to thank you for jumping on and also being the voice of Audible, and definitely going to have you or ask you to record a few more promos for the Saturday debut, or if not this Saturday, then the following Saturday that I'm on 1240 WGBB in West Babylon.
Absolutely.
And as always, thank you. Oh, and tell everyone best ways to get in contact with Richie V.
The best ways to get in contact with Richie V, I'll give you the two best ways. The first one on Twitter, it's RichieV_NY. That's RICHIEV_NY on Twitter. Or on Instagram, it's RichieV11743.
Perfect.
Ted, as always, thank you for having me. You know I like being on the show. Always glad to help you out. Definitely be looking forward to putting some more promos together and get some more sponsorship here, because you're doing big things and gotta make it happen for you. And Hezzie, if you're still listening, Hezzie, shout out my brother. It's been a long time.
Yes, he is still listening, Rich. So that's the best thing about it. So got to thank you once again, Richie V, for coming through.
You got it, Ted. Anytime. Thank you.
And that was Richie V, Rich Valdez, coming through here. I've got software is just acting crazy. I got to tell you guys. So I don't know if you're hearing dialing going on or all the above, but our last guest for the evening is none other than D2.5, Danny Thompson. This is a recorded interview that we had earlier today. We were talking about LeBron James, you know, the things he likes to talk about. LeBron James, now Stephon Curry. What else? Nah, I'm not gonna say he's a bandwagon fan or anything else like that. But we love Danny. We know him. Let's go into the quick discussion. I got a text from Hez. He said, "Oh man, I can't ask him about the steaks." Nah, this is a recording. This is a recorded interview, Hez. I'm telling you. We're gonna play from earlier today.
And this is Ted Hicks again with LMP Live. It's Wednesday. Usually it would be Wednesday evening, and it would be the evening before NBA Full Court Press comes on. But that's not the case because of, everyone's getting prepared for the finals for Thursday. But we have on the line Danny Thompson, host, creator, founder, lead writer of NBA Full Court Press. You can find that on NBAFCPRadio.com, and his show, NBA Full Court Press, is on the Happy Hour Network, usually Thursday nights, but there's been a special treat on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The 2-hour show has been broken down into a 1-hour show. So with all of that, glad to have you on the line, Danny, and first and foremost, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's been, it's great to be, great and blessed to be 33 today, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. I mean, you woke up. It was a new year in your life, and you looked at the loved ones around you, and you got a lot to be grateful for. And you're right, it is definitely a blessing. And I guess I'll start off the conversation by saying, you and I had a little wager. We both had a lot of fun with it because at the beginning of the series, I think I was saying it was going to be a 7-game series. I said Warriors in 7. I didn't put that on Facebook or anything else like that, but we've been friends long enough to know that, yes, I did say it and blah, 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 blah. So for all those folks that have to go to Facebook to say, oh, I said such and such, and please, get a life. Danny,
check your Twitter feed.
It was a very grueling series. We got to see, what the Warriors are about. We wanted to see. Was it a fluke? Was it this? Was it that? They look battle-tested, and they look ready for Thursday night. I'm just going to lead in with that because I have some Kevin Durant questions for you, but I'll wait. But what's your thoughts on Cavs Warriors? Everyone's been waiting all year long for the rematch.
Well, everybody's been waiting for the rematch, and now it's part two. And now Cleveland's at full strength with 6 days off. That allowed Kevin Love to get rest on his knee that he was banged up in the Toronto series, and most importantly, LeBron gets to go in with his entire team fully intact. He gets to have Kevin Love. He gets to have Kyrie Irving on his side. Last year, Kyrie goes down in Game 1. Kevin Love missed the majority of the playoffs with a shoulder injury. Guys were hurt, and then he was pretty much playing with spare parts the second part of the finals, and he got 2 wins out of it. I mean, they got to Game 6, but now the depth is there for Cleveland, and Golden State's firing on all cylinders. So it's time to grab the popcorn, Ted, and sit back and watch, hopefully, at least 6 or 7 games of great basketball.
All right, so I got to put you on the spot right now. I got to put you on the spot right now and say, how many games is this series going to go? I'm not going to ask you the winner yet. But how many games will this series go? In your prediction?
It'll go 6.
It'll go 6. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And for the Cavaliers to win, what do they need to do?
Well, you have to look at the biggest X factor of the series, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the guy that is the biggest wild card for the Cavs as well is J.R. Smith. If J.R. Smith is one of the few players in the NBA, when he hits shots, and he hits a ton of them at one time. What people fail to realize is J.R. Smith's only averaging 12 points a game, but Ted, he's doing it on 45% shooting from the floor, and more impressively, 46% from the three-point line. So he's been much more controlled and much more, accurate with his three-point shooting. So it's not been the streaky J.R. Smith we've been seeing his entire career. If he continues that, in a series that can go up and down and still stay consistent, he can match 3 for 3 with the guys on Golden State's roster. So if he's having an effective series, because we know LeBron's going to get his, Kyrie's going to get his, I think Kevin Love will step up in the series. If J.R. Smith does what J.R. Smith can do best, that gives Cleveland 4 scoring options, which is 1 more than Golden State.
And I want to flip that to the other side. What do the Warriors need to do to go back-to-back?
Golden State's won 73 games all year. They have the best team in the NBA. In the history of the NBA, you have the 2-time MVP on your team, and you have home court advantage. What does Golden State need to do? Do not, under any circumstances, lose home court advantage. Keep home court control of this series, and guess what? You'll end up winning the series. It's hard enough to win in Oakland. It's the second hardest place to win in the NBA. I think outside of Oklahoma City, which is very debatable, those are the 2 hardest places to play in the NBA. So as long as you have home court advantage, you pretty much can own the series. As long as you do nothing crazy, Stephen Curry can easily win the series by himself.
Gotcha. I think before we were talking about we talked about wild cards. We talked about the primary stars that are going to be doing what we expect them to do tonight. What do you expect from Tyronn Lue against Steve Kerr?
Well, you have the experienced coach and the inexperience of Tyronn Lue versus the NBA Coach of the Year and potential 2-time back-to-back champion head coach in Steve Kerr. It's a battle of can Tyronn Lue make enough adjustments to counteract what the Warriors are going to do, because the Warriors came out in Game 7 Oklahoma City with a very interesting lineup to try and slow down Kevin Durant. And that was starting Andre Iguodala at the small forward position and bringing Harrison Barnes off the bench. Now, I wonder will Steve Kerr, knowing that LeBron James is there, in the same type of role as Kevin Durant. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes, or does he bring Iguodala off the bench, where he's been phenomenal for the Warriors all season.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this question right now. You said the series will go 6 games. Who are you picking to win?
I said it back in October, and I'm not going to change my mind. Steph Curry and them might win the MVP this year, but this is the year of LeBron. The curse is lifted in Cleveland this year. LeBron finally gets one for Cleveland. He brings it home. He fulfills his promise. Everything is all done. He's exonerated from Cleveland. The question is, will he return for the repeat next season? If not, he returns. Who will return with him?
I'm not going to touch that one. I want to step over to your thoughts on Kevin Durant.
Well, before I go into the Kevin Durant question, but Ted, there's really one winner in this playoff in this series. Ted, do you know who that is?
Who's that?
Anderson Varejao.
Anderson Varejao, I forgot. Since he played for both of the teams, he's getting a ring regardless.
So he wins the championship. He automatically wins. So he doesn't have to do a single thing in the series. He gets a championship ring. The question is, what team is going to be under? He's an NBA champion.
Thoughts on Kevin Durant? His overall performance in the Western Conference Finals, where he's going to go, what he's going to do. I mean, the money out there is just straight stupid if he stays.
Well, the Kevin Durant situation is very interesting because people know that Kevin Durant can make this year 5 years at $145 million, 5 years $200 million next season if he decides to re-up Oklahoma City. But here's the thing what people fail to realize. Kevin Durant can sign a 2-in-1 contract with any team in the NBA. And that team would own the right to give Kevin Durant $200+ million next summer. So if Kevin wants to sit back a year and say, you know what, I might want to try this out and then re-up and become a free agent, he can do that. So I know Oklahoma City can offer him the most money even in a 2-in-1 situation, but Kevin just signed a $300 million deal with Nike. I don't think he's hurting in the pocket anytime soon. Every team needs to be Oklahoma City Thunder needs to be worried about every other team pursuing Kevin Durant. So there's reports out of his camp saying that his agent has already talked to the Boston Celtics about what players to add along with him to make Kevin go on to Boston. There's also a rumor the Atlanta Hawks ready to do the boatload to go after Durant by pretty much giving Kevin Durant what he wants and then going over the luxury tax to retain Al Horford. Can you imagine a Millsap, Durant, and Horford front line in Atlanta with Jeff Teague, Dennis Schroeder, and Kyle Korver? Way better than what you see in Oklahoma City. You know, there's a lot of different possibilities. There's the Miami possibility because with Pat Riley, anything goes with Pat Riley. And then you still have the elephant in the room, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, who own the number 2 overall pick, could be the same situation the Cleveland Cavaliers was 2 years ago by drafting the best player in the draft by a lot of people, and Ben Simmons or Brandon Ingram, depending who's available at number 2, signing Kevin Durant, more likely signing Hassan Whiteside, and then guess what? Turning that pick into a third piece, a Jimmy Butler, you know, any of these disgruntled guys that you can get your hands on, maybe Paul George. And then you got a big 3 out in Los Angeles. So there's a lot of different teams, a lot of different rumors, and even Kevin is really high on the Knicks because of the relationship, well, of course, with Carmelo Anthony, but 2, he's very high in Kristaps Porzingis. So there's a lot of different speculations for Kevin. Where is he going to end up? We still haven't talked about the Washington Wizards, or we haven't talked about him potentially resigning in Golden State or even San Antonio if they want to try and bark up the Kevin Durant tree. There's so many different options, so many different storylines, and it's just now June 1st. We still have really 5 more weeks until free agency.
Awesome. Danny, I'm going to wrap us up right here because you will be one of the featured guests on the debut show of LMP Live on 1240 AM WGBB on Saturday at 4:30. I believe your segment is at around about 5:15. So the third segment to close out the show, and I know you're going to, as always, finish strong. Let our listeners know best ways to get in contact with you, the best NBA podcast/radio show available in the U.S. and abroad. Tell us ways to hear the show.
Ted, it's always a pleasure to stop on LMP. I love doing LMP every time I have the opportunity. You can follow me on Twitter at NBADT29. Also, the show page, which is at NBAFCP Radio. Check out our website, which is www.NBAFCPradio.com. Check out all our articles with myself, Eric Cisneros, along with Melody Garber, Ethan Stern, the entire crew over there on the site, as well as download our app, which is Full Court Press Radio in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store as well, too. That way you can listen to all our shows and listen to Melody's podcast, The 4-Point Play. We have a whole bunch of new things we're going to be doing and bringing out in the next couple of weeks, maybe a draft mock. And also, after the game tomorrow night, we're not going to be on the Happy Hour Network until next Thursday, but to keep you with your Full Court Press needs, we're going to be doing a post-game show on Facebook Live. So I'm going to be on camera talking about what you saw in Game 1, taking questions from viewers and people watching. So at the same time, check us out. We're doing maybe a 10 to 15-minute post-game show on Thursday night and also on Sunday night after the game. So follow us on Facebook at Full Court Press.
And that was Danny Thompson. Wanted to thank him for joining us in recorded format. So this is the close of the show, the Wednesday night show. We're like 5 minutes over. I got to figure out a way because the show on Saturday has to be 57 minutes, no longer, no going over. But we always have the Wednesday show where we'll go over and have our extended conversation. Want to thank our three guests tonight. H5, Hezzie McCaleb, Richie V, Rich Valdez, NBA DT29, Danny Thompson, for bringing forth a diverse show. We try to give you the best. You know, all the times it doesn't come out to be that way, and we're sorry. But want to thank you for listening. Want to thank you for downloading the show. I'm watching you on Spreaker and on iHeart as you guys are downloading and listening to the show. Got to say much thanks, much respect to all of you. Love you, and we will be back on Saturday with the debut on 1240 AM WGBB. Big shout out to Mr. Vandenberg and Mr. Val for always shouting us out. Thank you.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a drill instructor directing a musical. Town hut! Get those tap heels in line and let me see those jazz hands! Are you bundling your home and auto insurance through Progressive? Can you hear me through those sequins?
Bundle your home and auto through Progressive and save.
Left, 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 and step ball change.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Home insurance provided and serviced by other select insurers.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a drill instructor directing a musical. Town hut! Get those tap heels in line and let me see those jazz hands! Are you bundling your home and auto insurance through Progressive? Can you hear me through those sequins?
Bundle your home and auto through Progressive and save.
Left, 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 and step ball change.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Home insurance provided and serviced by other select insurers.